This week on my sewing journey, I made a notepad cover, and these are fairly simple and can be made from scraps. First, I decided I wanted a pocket on the front and an extra pocket in the back, a pen holder, pencil holder, and I wanted it lined. So what I did was I made measurement of the entire notepad opened up. And then I added onto it 2.5 inches on the bottom. And on this side, the 2.5 inches. Plus I decided what size I wanted this little pocket to be that goes and extends all the way to the front. And then I layered my fabrics together with the cover, the pocket, and then the lining fabric, which you're never going to really see it. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see. So you can use old fabric that you don't care about for the lining. It's very rarely, the only time you're really going to see it is when you take the pad out. So layering those together with the right side facing together, as in the lining right side and the covers right side facing together with the pocket in between them. I sewed all the way down and around and right to here. And then I left this part open for turning to the right side. I turned it to the right side. And then I fixed the pocket the way I wanted it. And then sewed this shut and then pulled it up so that the pocket was in place, how I wanted my pockets done. And then I sewed straight down this way, and then I did the same thing on this side. I folded it how I wanted the flap and sewed straight down on both sides. And then I top stitched it. You don't have to top stitch it. Top stitching is just sewing straight down around. It keeps the fabric from shifting, so you don't have the little like gouging fabric coming out this way or bubbling. You don't have to do that though if you don't like to do that. And this was the end of it. Now, if you wanted to decorate this part here, like maybe you want to put your initial on it or an embroidery piece or a cross stitch piece or something, like a fancy bead or whatever, I would do that before I sewed it all together. So you want to decorate all this beforehand. If you wanted to just decorate the pocket, I would do that beforehand. It's much easier. You could do it afterwards, but you would be sewing straight through to your lining piece if you didn't want to see the stitches on your lining or run the risk of every single time you take the notepad out that you might be ripping your stitching, then I would do it before. Now, as for my loop, now this is an optional loop. I put that in during that sewing the whole thing together. You want to make sure that when you put your piece of elastic in, that first it's going to fit the pen or pencil that you want, and then you fold your inward. So it's not going to hang out like this when you're sewing it. It's going to be inside. So when you turn it to the right side, then it pops out. But that's optional too. You really don't have to do that. If you figure I might mess it up or I really don't want a pencil holder there, you don't have to do that. That's just extra. You also could sew a piece of fabric across here if you wanted just, around where the spiral is, something to make it look flashy. You could do that. This was a fun project to do. I hope you like the idea. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And happy sewing.